Okay, hello. 3, 2, 1. Hi, and welcome back to the pod. Um, I'm wearing okay, first I want to show you my shoes. Aren't they so cute? They're little Steve Madden ballet flats, which I think are really cute, and they might be like last season or whatever. I might be late to the party, but I really like them and I think they're cute. So that's all that matters. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw in my last video, I tried to do an intro. God, terrible. Don't know why I tried that. I just wanted to look professional, but it turns out that was just really tacky and gross. And now I'm just gonna try to get straight to the point. Even though this episode doesn't really have a point, I am still gonna entertain you. Plus, I'm looking kind of cute today. I just thought I want to do a bed cozy look. So this is what I came up with, but I'm really nervous that I'm going to get bad angles, and I don't really love my arms, so I just don't want my arms to really show up in this, but they will. Inevitably. Also, my nails aren't done and I have my Apple Watch on, but to be honest, I'm never taking my Apple Watch off, okay? I love it and I don't care what anyone says. I know it doesn't go with any of my outfits, but I just feel really alone when it's not on. Another thing, I've tried to play around with the lighting a lot on this, and I am just god fucking awful at it. I honestly and truly cannot figure out the lighting. My skin looks blue and splotchy and everything. So then I do this really dark and dingy lighting, and it just looks not that cute, which is really frustrating because I'm looking at all the other girlies on YouTube and stuff, and their lighting is just so good, and I'm what is honestly up with that? That's kind of really unfair. I just don't know the tricks of the trade yet. I'm just learning. Also, I just want to say quickly, this is my real hair. So, yeah. My hair is this long and it's bleached to shit, okay? It's not highlights or anything. This is my hair, okay? It's just pretty incredible that I can kind of bleach the shit out of my hair and still grow it this long. And I feel I could just keep growing it, but I don't know when to stop. I'm kind of just growing it to prove a point that my hair can grow really, really long and still be bleached. Because everyone thinks I have a wig on all the time or that this is extensions. But just PSA out there, this is my real hair. Pretty much the only people who have my hair are strippers, which is an honor because I feel they are the only people who can afford it. Let's be honest here. Yeah, I'm wearing this kind of slutty outfit, but I didn't really think of it as being slutty. I just thought of it as being cute, and I wanted something to go with my new little ballet flats. So I put this together. Oh no, ugh, God. Why is this falling down like that? Shouldn't be doing that. I kind of feel with these stockings, Napoleonic. I feel I'm from that era. I feel this is exactly what they wore, and little silk slippers, especially with the pastel colors. I was wow, I'm really getting King Louis here, or Marie Antoinette, but I just more so associate myself with the king. Yeah, so a big thing about me is that I literally spend my whole life thinking about how people used to do things. And it kind of takes over my life. I can't stop thinking about it. Every time I do something, I'm oh, I wonder how people used to do this. And I literally just think about kind of the 1700s. And I'm well, I wonder how it used to go down. And then I think about the medieval era. And I'm did they even have a reference for history? Did they know anything about the people before them? Because I know that there was written history, but they were probably all peasants and just dumb and literally had no idea. They probably thought that everyone had just been living like them for however long. No, honestly, I know this might not sound crazy interesting, but think about it. You are a peasant. You've never watched a movie. You've never watched Gladiator. You've never read a book. The only thing you have is the Bible. And you're probably just thinking, like, there's no concept of the history before. I don't know how to, like, clarify my words here and make this, like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like, they just didn't have historical costuming. There was no reference for, like, putting something on and being like, oh my God, this is so Greek. I just wonder what was going on in their brains at all times. Because every day, like, if I get sick, or, okay, again, I'm obsessed with childbirth, but I'm thinking, like, what do people honestly do? Like, how did they ever survive? How did they, like, ever do anything without modern medicine? They also just didn't have photos to, like, show them, like, what was hot or, like, what was in style and stuff like that. Like, they literally just saw the queen walk down the street one day and were like, oh my God, she's hot. But, like, I literally am looking through magazines all the time, like, saving things on Instagram, being like, these are so cute. But yeah, they just, like, didn't have a reference for that. And I listened to this one podcast where she talks about sex and history, and she talks about how, like, the Victorians didn't, when they first started filming porn, like, they didn't fully have a concept of what was hot. Like, now we have an image of what was hot because it's fed to us. Like, not in an annoying way, but we just, like, look at, like, clear skin, like, tight bodies, like, all that stuff, and we know that that's hot. But, like, when they were first discovering porn, you know, making erotic photos and stuff, they didn't have a reference of, like, what people liked or what people thought was, like, hot. So the poses are so awkward and just so strange. Okay, could you imagine, honestly, not knowing what a pussy looks like no photos of it, nothing, and then, like, on your wedding day discovering a pussy? Like, that is so weird to me. And, like, I hate to be crass and vulgar, but I'm just saying, like, we have no idea what our ancestors went through before. And obviously they were fucking, okay? Like, they just were. And they were way hornier probably. Like, now we're so porn sick and, like, but, like, back then, everything must have just been so fucking erotic. Like, the unknown and, like, waiting until your wedding day or something, you would have just been like, holy shit. And I heard this thing that prostitutes, I shouldn't say that, sex workers, but in the historical era, that's what they called them. So forgive me, okay? But yes, our queens, sex workers, they would actually just let guys, like, fuck them between the thighs, and men just really didn't know that that's not what sex was. So, which I think is kind of iconic. Like, they were wearing long skirts and whatever, or somehow just managed to pull that off where guys would just fuck their thighs and think that that was sex. So that's hilarious. I also think, okay, like, I'm not going to dox my age here, but kids these days really do have, like, TikTok and everything, or the internet, which I did too, but it was, like, my family's computer, so the search history would have just been diabolical. So I wouldn't have wanted to, like, really search things on there. But what I did have was Cosmopolitan magazine. Okay. And I read it back to front. And I really, honestly and truly thought, like, that was my number one sex education. I really read everything on these weird, like, blowjob techniques. And yeah, but, like, kids these days can just, like, go onto Pornhub or whatever, and just learn everything right away. But when I was, like, younger, obviously, like every other kid, just so fucking curious. I feel like even the kids born 5 years after me have just such a different upbringing. Like, which I know it sounds like, oh, kids these days. I don't mean that. I just mean, like, internet and technology moves really fast. But yeah, we've lost, like, the spark of curiosity. Yeah, because I remember, like, I literally Googled for so long, like, how to French kiss. I don't even, do they call it French kissing anymore? Or is that, like, an outdated term? What is it? Making out? Which I say too, but, like, for some reason I just haven't heard the word French kiss in a while. Anyways, I would like Google that for hours just trying to figure out how it worked. And like I was like more nervous to kiss someone than I was to like have sex or anything like that. Like I just didn't care about that. It was like the kissing that was the true, honestly, like most terrifying thing. And there really is no explanation. Like you can't teach someone how to make out. It's impossible. It just works. And maybe it takes like some trial and error. I did not have high school boyfriends, which like thank fucking God. I'm so happy for that. Whew. I like really, yeah, I mean, I was always grateful that I didn't have high school boyfriends, but then the girls who did have high school boyfriends were kind of like more stable. So maybe I should have had a high school boyfriend. But at the same time, oh my God, no. Oh, no. No, I cannot think of one guy from my high school that I would have actually wanted to date. Ugh. No. That's another thing. Like, I honestly feel like I'm going to say some trashy ass shit here, but I honestly feel like, oh my God, this sounds so creepy. Okay, 18 plus. They look a lot better because they have TikTok. Like, we honestly did not know how to dress. We all looked trashy as fuck in a small town in Canada. None of us looked good. I hate to say it, but it's just true. And everyone can agree, okay? Like, none of us looked good. But I look at these little kids now, like, on the street, and I'm like, oh, I would wear what you're wearing. Because they have the ability to, like, go, I don't know, maybe even order things online. I did not. I literally had Lady Gaga and American Apparel, which I worked at. Yeah, like American Apparel is so hard to describe to people because it really was, I don't even have the words for it, but it was like a thing. Like, it was like Tumblr retail store. And like working at American Apparel, you just were a certain type of girl. And the ads were slutty. Everything was hot. It just was like a vibe. And I never felt like gross working at American Apparel. Like, I'm happy that I truly was an American Apparel girl. I always wanted to, like, and I think that it's so like stuck into my brain because I still think that like the Terry Richardson like photos and stuff like that is like the epitome of like sex. Like, I thought that like these girls with like body hair and like a few little like curves and just kind of being like raunchy. I'm like, that's like, it's a type of like sex appeal that they just don't have anymore. Like, it's not high gloss. It's like it. And the people from our generation get it. Okay? We get it. Yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, American Apparel was sexy and I'm happy that I worked there. I think that was like one of the few jobs I didn't get fired from. Maybe I did, but whatever. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I think I'm just rambling, but I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, back to how things worked back in the day. Sometimes I like go in my head and I'm like, did women like ever have any sort of pleasure like back in the day? And I'm talking like medieval era. But I think that like medieval versus like Victorian era is so different. Obviously, there's like hundreds of years in between. In the medieval era, they actually thought that women had to like come for a child to be born. So they understood the importance of female pleasure. Fast forward to the Victorian era, they didn't even know what a vagina looked like. So I think that we're told that the medieval era is so dark and so terrible, but I truly, honestly, think that that is a misconception. Obviously, it was dark for a lot of people. I don't know. I think that they had more freedom. I could actually just 100% totally be wrong. But I did hear that the working days weren't as long. And when they ended work, that was it. So now we're worked way worse than a medieval peasant, allegedly. But yeah, like, then we get this Victorian era, and I don't know where it came from. I'm also not a history nerd at all. I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. But that's really where people started to tighten up and be like, oh my God, everything's terrible. And they were just terrified of sex. Whereas, oh yeah, in the medieval era, contrary to popular belief, you could just marry and get divorced like within a week, and there was no questions asked. As long as both parties believed in getting a divorce, it was just like, oh yeah. And like men ran away for whatever, so you could just, it was kind of like dating. Like they just called dating marriage. Like you got married to a guy, but if you wanted to leave him, you could. And we only have the reference for the monarchy. They could not do that. But the peasants literally just got married and divorced multiple times. And it was just like, oh, whatever. Then everyone wanted to be a royal. And people stopped doing that and put a lot of focus on marriages. Which is fine, whatever. It's nice to be with someone for your whole life. But, like, I don't know. I really think the medieval people kind of knew what was up. Like, they were just out there having fun, doing crazy shit. They were truly wild. They didn't drink water. They drank beer. So, I think we have a lot to learn from medieval peasants. Obviously, there's some problematic issues there. And I don't think that it was all that bad. Sue me, okay? Sue me. Somebody, like, answer my questions here, or I don't know, like write to me and tell me why it was terrible. I know that you were owned as property, and that's like fucking terrible. And also anyone was like allowed to torture you. Terrible. So yeah, maybe it wasn't all that good, but like, I don't know. I definitely glorify and romanticize things in the past, which I probably shouldn't do, but just kind of all seems hot and sexy to me, like not knowing things, not having the internet, and just being like a milkmaid. That's hot. But I wouldn't be like that, because I would be like royalty, obviously. But I would never want to be the queen. That job sucks. You are literally just a cow. And yeah, they just impregnate you 24/7, and you are just made to produce. So you don't want to be a cow, as in the queen. You want to be a mistress, because they had it so fucking good. They were like a mistress for 3 years, and then they had one of the king's babies, and then the king promised to take care of them for the rest of their life. And they held like high power in the court. So I think that's really hot, and I don't know why anyone would not want that job. Okay, well, let me know if you think my outfit is too slutty, or if it's ugly, or if I got some bad angles and my arms are gross. Yeah, also, like, if you've made it to the end of this video, please comment and let me know what you want from me. If you want me to talk about certain subjects, because nothing is off limits, and I will just talk about it. Okay, stay hot. Bye.